Hi, math lovers. Welcome to our last notes for college algebra. College algebra notes number 60. We're going to talk today about probability. You have this sheet in your packet, so take it on out. We're going to look at some problems about probability. The most important thing we need to think about with probability is what our fraction's going to look like. So probability, I have an example here. It says tossing a coin is 1/2. So if you think about the sample space for tossing a coin, you could either have your sample space for tossing a coin is either going to be heads or it's going to be tails, right? So I have two possible outcomes. So my probability that I'm going to write have a heads is going to be there's one possibility for that event to actually happen divided by the total number of outcomes because there are two outcomes in my sample space. Now, when you work with probability, your probability is always going to be between 1 and 0. So if I say, hey, what's the probability that I flip a coin and it's either heads or tails, that probability is going to be 1. If I flip a coin and I say, what's the probability that it comes up with something that's not on a head or not on a tail, like, I don't know, like a star, right? What's the probability I flip a coin and I get a star? Well, it's 0 because that cannot possibly happen. Okay, so let's try some problems down here at the bottom of your worksheet. I'm going to work right down here. It says, a die is rolled, find the probability of each event. So before we even start, I should talk about my sample space. So if I roll a die, I know my possibilities of rolling that die would be a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. Those are my total possibilities. So event A, the number showing is even. So let's see. The probability of event A is going to be, how many total possibilities do I have? 6. So that's my denominator. And my numerator is going to be how many are even. Well, I have 1, 2, 3 numbers that are even. So 3 out of 6, which is going to be 1/2. I want you to leave that as a fraction. I do not want you changing that into a decimal. Lots of mistakes are made when that happens. Let's go to event B. The number showing is a 5 or a 6. Okay, so your denominator is going to be how many possibilities you have of outcomes. So again, sample space here is 6. The number is a 5 or a 6. Well, how many different ways can I roll a 5? 1. How many different ways can I roll a 6? 1. So there are two possibilities. So that's 2 out of 6, which would be 1/3. Okay? Then on the back of your worksheet, you've got a couple more problems. Make sure I've got it centered here. Okay? So example 2, it says 2 coins are tossed. Okay, 2 coins are tossed. Find the probability of each event. Before I even start this, I'm going to think about my sample space. All right, my sample space here. I have possibilities. If I'm flipping 2 coins, I could get tails, tails. I could get heads, tails. I could get tails, heads. And I could get, let's see, heads, heads, right? That's my sample space. Now, heads, tails, and tails, heads are different. Think about if I'm flipping a dime and a nickel, right? Those are 2 different coins. My 2 different coins are going to give me 2 different outcomes. All right, so let's see the probability of event A. Both come up heads. All right, so both come up heads. How many different ways can that happen? Just 1. And how many possibilities do I have? I have 4. So it's 1 out of 4. Probability of event B. Each coin comes up either heads or tails. Either heads or tails. Well, wait a minute. I have 4 possibility outcomes. Heads or tails, aren't they all heads or tails? So that would be 4 out of 4, which is 1. Okay. Probability of event C. Neither coin comes up heads. Okay. So not heads, not heads, not heads. So I only have one way I can do that, right? So that would be tails, tails. So that would be 1 out of 4. And event D, one coin comes up heads and the other one comes up tails. Okay, so I only have 2 ways that could happen. So it's 2 divided by 4, which would be 1/2. Okay, so thinking about your probability. So your probability that you're going to have, let's see, in summation, your probability of some event, right, is the number of ways that that event can happen divided by the number of ways that you have total outcomes. All right, total outcomes. If the event is impossible, if its event is impossible, then you're going to have a 0 for a probability. If the event is, let's say, impossible, and that's going to be 0. And if the event is going to definitely happen, it's, what do we say? It's a certain. Let's say the event is certain, right? Then the probability is going to be 1. So that's probability in a quick little nutshell. Have some fun on your homework problems. I'll see you soon.